The top stories in Jamaica today's The Week That Was. Jamaica to secure financial support for greenhouse gas emission reduction. The PMP's 81st annual conference. Transportation nightmare as taxi and bus operators withdraw services. Victoria Mutual acquires shares in Barbados-based FinTech Carilend, and the grand coronation of Miss Jamaica World 2019. Hello, I am Vaughn Thorpe. And we begin with local news. Jamaica has applied to the Climate Action Enhancement Package CAEP with the hope of securing the financial support to complete a long-term greenhouse gas emission reduction and resilient development strategy for a period up to 2050. This was disclosed in a statement at the launch of the CAEP at the United Nations headquarters in New York earlier this week by Minister without Portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Darrell Vaz. NDCs, or nationally determined contributions, are intended reductions in greenhouse gas emissions under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC. Minister Vaz noted that the government of Jamaica is looking forward to being listed among the countries committed to increasing ambition in climate action and in being recognized amongst the group of countries and other stakeholders that are setting carbon neutrality goals toward 2050. The minister added that Jamaica is aligned with the objectives of the Paris Agreement and the guiding principles of the NDC partnership as exemplified in its NDC. A delegation led by Prime Minister Holness, which included Minister Vaz, recently participated in the much-anticipated Climate Action Summit at the United Nations General Assembly in New York on Monday, September 23. People's National Party PNP President Dr. Peter Phillips addressed the 81st annual conference of the party at the National Arena on Sunday. Dr. Phillips said the recent campaign had shown that the internal democratic system of the PNP is working. Moments after saluting Peter Bunting for an intense and spirited campaign, however, all eyes were on what appeared to be signs of continued disunity in the People's National Party, as it was noticed that supporters of Bunting's Rise United campaign sat away from others in the arena. Dr. Phillips said the party was working to unite in an effort to build a stronger Jamaica. In a speech stretching just over an hour, Dr. Phillips outlined plans for the transformation of education, land ownership, the entertainment industry, and farming if his party is successful in forming the next government. The People's National Party president restated the party's opposition to the continuation of states of emergencies and is again calling on government to facilitate broad-based talks on crime. The opposition leader also criticized the Andrew Holness government over its handling of crime, saying that after 3 years, the government had imposed 7 states of emergencies and still has no crime plan. Finally, in local news, thousands of commuters were left stranded across the corporate area and Portmore St. Catherine as bus and taxi operators pulled their vehicles off the road following a fatal stabbing which resulted in a dispute among drivers of the state-owned Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC and taxi operators. According to the Duhaney Park Police, from information received about 6:45 p.m. on Monday, Britton was driving a Toyota Isis motor car along Washington Boulevard in Kingston 20 when he allegedly got into an altercation with the driver of a Jamaican Urban Transit Company bus. The situation escalated and a knife was brought into play and Britton was stabbed several times. He was assisted to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The stabbing death of Britton led to anger among taxi operators who immediately started withdrawing their services from various routes. A JUTC driver was later shot and killed in what was said to be a reprisal killing. The 2 deaths led to a strike and full withdrawal of JUTC service and by taxi operators, which resulted in mayhem in the transport sector. Several schools dismissed classes early Tuesday afternoon in response to the strike by JUTC drivers. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information said it was concerned about the withdrawal of service by the employees of the Jamaican Urban Transport Company and advised school administrators to dismiss classes early and advised students to get home as safely as possible. Hundreds of students were seen walking along the Washington Boulevard as well as down Hope Road in the pouring rain between 1 and 2 p.m. Police vehicles, including patrol cars, helped to transport people safely. The JUTC service was almost non-existent on Tuesday and most of Wednesday, with drivers expressing fear of going on the roads. Since then, the company has been deploying units on a phased basis, and by mid-Thursday morning, the company deployed 317 buses and gave a report that the service of the Jamaican Urban Transit Company is back close to normal. In business news, Victoria Mutual Investments Limited, VMIL, has announced the acquisition of a 30% stake in Barbados-based FinTech company Carilend Caribbean Holdings Limited. The alliance was announced recently at a press briefing held at the AC Hotel in Kingston. And on to entertainment, the grand coronation of the Miss Jamaica World pageant was staged recently at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in Kingston. The evening showcase saw smooth flow for the most part as judges moved one step closer to announce the winner of the Miss Jamaica World 2019 competition. Tony Singh, who won the title for Best Talent in the competition earlier this month, was crowned Miss Jamaica World 2019. She was the 6th contestant to be placed in the top 6. Tony will now represent Jamaica in England for Miss World 2019. Rochelle McKinley and Alana Wanlis placed 2nd and 3rd respectively. 23-year-old Sayini Phillips took home the prestigious award of Beauty with a Purpose for her ongoing project, Save Our Schools. The project helps to better the lives of students and teachers across Jamaica. Jamaica Today caught up with Sayini and she told us about her project and what she's eyeing next.
I mean, for me, it was the greatest thing of the night. I think winning perhaps could have topped it, but this was the most important thing for me. Winning this award was the most important thing for me going into the competition, throughout the competition. Because I've always said this, it's just for me one of the highest awards of Miss Jamaica and Miss World. So to be given this award felt like an amazing achievement. Alright, so it's called Save Our Schools, shortened by saying SOS. So basically what I wanted to do was to do something that was different. I wanted to go into the different institutions across Jamaica and I wanted to find schools that needed different resources, whether they needed printer, refrigerator, school supplies. I even went as far as to tile a whole bathroom for students. I go back to Hollywood. That's something I've wanted to do, and I go back, I see where that takes me. I want to travel the world a little bit more, but this time doing a lot more charity affiliated projects.
And those are the top stories in Jamaica Today's The Week That Was. Join us next week on our website at jamaicatoday.com and at Mind Jamaica Today on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter for another roundup. I am Vaughn Thorpe.